This is IGN. A disappointing revival that misunderstands what made the Mario and Luigi series great. This is your IGN review of Mario and Luigi Brothership by Logan Plant. If you've been living under a rock for the last year and are craving a Mario RPG, then I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that Nintendo has put out 3 of them in the last 12 months, including fantastic remakes of Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. The bad news is that Mario and Luigi Brothership, the only fully original adventure so far in this plumber role-playing renaissance, is easily the worst of the bunch, and an incredibly frustrating return for a series I hold dear. Apart from its action-packed turn-based battles, it fails in almost every way to recapture the magic of the best Mario and Luigi games, while also clinging to their bad habits like ridiculously chatty dialogue, overbearing hand-holding, and boring runtime padding fetch quests. Couple that with shockingly bad performance issues that distract at nearly every turn, and the nearly 10-year wait for a brand new Mario and Luigi game hardly felt worth it by the time the credits rolled. Having the Mario Brothers sail a giant island ship hybrid to uncover and explore new islands is a great idea on paper, but in practice, navigation boils down to a pretty unspectacular ocean map where you pick the next destination you want to sail to and wait as you inch your way there, and the results are ultimately meaningless. I never felt any sense of discovery remotely approaching that of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, or even of the small open ocean segment of Paper Mario: The Origami King. I instead felt like a kid in the backseat of a road trip, just wondering if we were there yet. Speaking of kids, several choices in Brothership make it feel like baby's first RPG. It probably will be for plenty of kids out there, so that isn't inherently a bad thing, but this is the rare game starring Mario that feels designed specifically for ages 6 to 12, rather than ages 6 to 66. The tutorials and dialogue are constantly holding your hand. For example, almost any time you enter a new area, the camera slowly pans over to your objective and slowly pans back, followed by an excruciatingly long explanation from new assistant named Snoutlet, who basically spells out exactly what you need to do. The dialogue repeatedly reminds you of the overarching story and objective, and Brothership spends far too much of its already bloated 34-hour runtime rehashing the same tired notes. I lost count of how many times new characters were shocked to learn Mario and Luigi were on a mission to reconnect all of Concordia's islands. Plus, the large font size means only roughly a dozen words tops can fit in a single dialogue bubble, so you're always mashing the A button to get to the next line in these insufferably long scenes. Brothership makes an admirable attempt at telling the story about the importance of friendship and connections and the dangers of isolation, but it's another area where the idea is better than the execution. The writing is just so unoriginal, and I didn't get attached to any of Brothership's large cast in the same way I have with so many characters and partners from past Mario RPGs. Some of that may come down to character design. I love how Mario and Luigi look in this cartoony art style, and many of the enemies look great too, but the friendly power outlet-shaped residents of Concordia just didn't resonate with me. Granted, it's nice to see original characters back in a Mario and Luigi game after Paper Jam toadified everything, but these designs are just a bit too rudimentary for my taste, and their blocky look clashes with the style of Mario, Luigi, and other characters and enemies from the Mushroom Kingdom that show up. Mario and Luigi Brothership is an incredibly disappointing return for an RPG series I've always loved. Apart from the combat, it fundamentally misunderstands its own past success and completely fumbles Luigi's role in puzzle solving and exploration by making him more of a pain than a partner. The story is simplistic and unoriginal, its attempts at humor fall flat, and the overly chatty writing holds your hand to a ridiculous degree. It's not a total disaster, as the excellent, flashy, turn-based battles are some of the best this series has ever had, but even those somehow manage to wear thin as the repetitive final act crawls across the finish line of this roughly 34-hour campaign, which suffers from surprisingly bad performance issues nearly the entire time. The Switch has been home to many triumphant revivals for Nintendo, but the Mario and Luigi series has sadly missed the boat. Mario and Luigi Brothership's IGN score? 5. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Mario and Luigi updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.